So basically in this reading for Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, this will be for July 4th to July 10th of 2026. So this is what's going on for Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Okay, now this is what happens whenever you decide what's going to do. This is how it goes. Because it's gonna be very common, very way of how it goes in that way. Because you think to yourself, it's like, well, this is how it goes. The way of this is that you have to accept things on the way how they are in different ways. This is how it goes. Because the way of this is, whether if you feel confidence and you feel how interesting it is, you have to be selective of how you're feeling. Now, the way of this is, whether if you deal with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, or Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you have to adapt on whoever you're talking to or whoever you're speaking with. Right? It's majority. It's like, if let's say if the person was being bullied and harassed, and let's say it was, Scorpio, for example, Scorpio will become, your worst enemy, right? It's the way how it works, because Scorpios can get angry very, very, very particular, right? That's how it is. And they know a lot of information, a lot of details, right? Even Pisces or Cancer. Now, the way how it is, whether if you decide that you are basically, being harassed and bullied and, having disrespectful, the way of this is you have to treat everyone with respect. That's how it goes. And whether if you lose friends, no matter how it goes in that way, that's what it's going to be, right? So that's how it goes. So the way of this is, whether if you have the Three of Pentacles where you want excitement, and the 6-1 where there's achievement and celebration, you figure out what's going on. Because if you have two excitements and you're celebrating about something, that's what it is. It's like, that's the worthy of how you're feeling in that way. It's like, okay, well, this is how it goes. So you have to adapt on how you're feeling in that way. It's like, you have to have your own pressure point. And in that pressure point, you know how it goes, right? If you decide about being bullied, harassed, and everything else. So whether you might be dealing with a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, or Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, you have to figure out what you're going through in that way. You have to be adaptable of how it goes, right? So that's what it's going to be, because the way of this is, whether if you say to yourself, it's like, well, this is how it goes, I need to encourage myself, that's how it goes, because you have to walk away from it, right? It's like, that's how it goes. So that's what it is in that way. So the way of this is how it goes in that way, because you have to understand that, right? That's how it goes. So that's how it is. So let me see what this oracle card says. It says acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. That's how it goes. And when you have the way of having your adaptation and you have to accept on what is good, that's how it's going to be, right? If you're losing a friend, if a friend is losing you, or you're not friends with them, then don't stick with them, right? Don't come to the table and harass Scorpio, like, that's how it goes. But Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio will pay attention to this reading, even if you decide what you're going through in that way and say, all right, well, this is how it goes, right? So if you have your own acceptance and you pay attention to what's going on, that's how it goes. Because in that favor, you think, okay, well, everything's going to be fine, all right, but this is how it goes. So you can't be worried about it. But the way this is, that's how it goes, because that's what it seems to be, okay? So that's how it is. So between you versus them, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, that's how it goes in that way. So we're going to figure out what's going on between the way of how it goes, because this is how it is in the way of how it's going to be, okay? So we're going to see what's going on, and this is how it is, okay? So in this wonderful feeling is that you have, on your side, you have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius on the left side, and it does represent anxiety of the Eight of Swords, right? So you're having anxiety. Yes, anxiety does work in your favor, but that's how it goes in that way. For them, the Ace of Cups reversed, they have no satisfactory. Okay, this is unsatisfactory, right? That's how it goes because that's what they're doing. They want to play that way of saying, well, this is how it goes. This is the way it works. This is how it's going to be. So I understand that. So you have to be confident of what you're doing in that way. Okay, so that's just how it goes. So I'm going to clarify between the Eight of Swords here. Page 1 story, there's basically invention. Eight of Swords reverse is no anxiety. Three of Cups reverse is no celebration. Queen Wands story, there's charisma. Seven Wands reverse, you're not feeling resilience. Three of Swords reverse is no heartbreak. Ten of reverse is no healing. War of reverse, there's incompletion. Wheel of Fortune story, you're gonna have good luck. Ten of Cups story, there's completion. King of Cups story, you want support. Exactly. So whether you have support between Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you want support, and that's what you want, right? You want to feel like everything seems to be fine, but that's how it goes. You have to be who you are and say, all right, this is how it goes. Nevertheless, to understand what you're going to be doing in that way, that's how it goes. So it's like, all right, this is how it's going to be. Yes, but you understand that, right? So the way of this is, whether you decide what you're going through, that's how it goes in that way. Okay, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, that's what it is. For them, let's say what this Ace of Cups is. Empress Uranus is no nourishment. Star Uranus is no inspiration. The Page of Swords, there's education. Three Pentacles, you want excitement. Nine Pentacles, there's no trust. The 10 Wands, there's burdens. Nine Cups, no romance. The Devil card, there's no obsessions or addictions. The Page of Cups, there's loyalty. Page of Pentacles, there's prospects. Knight of Swords, there's no drama. High Priestess is already you're using your voice. Seven Cups is no delusion. Five Pentacles, there's prosperity about money. Lower Silver, you're making decisions. Yeah, so they are making decisions on what it takes, because that's how it goes in that way. So it's like, all right, well, I'm going to make decisions. I want to get what I want, but the way of this is how you're going to do that. How you're going to be, the way of how you're going to be playing it in one way or another, right? That's how it goes. So whether if you see it as a wonderful feeling, you know how it goes, but that's how it is. It's like you need to do it as what feelings in that way. It's like, all right, this is how it goes. This is going to conclude. That's what it is. So that's what it takes. And you have to have that because necessarily that's how it goes. So they want to make decisions. You want support, right? That's how it goes, right? So this is not even funny. But what this is, the majority of it in that way, that's what it seems to be. Okay? So let me clarify this King of Cups here. Wheel of Fortune reverse, you're having bad luck. Empress, you want structure. Empress reverse is no nourishment. Hammer reverse is no restrictions. Taurus right, there's transformation. Lower right, you want to make decisions. So whether Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio wants to make decisions, and let's say your other part has to make decisions, that's what it is. Making decisions does make sense, but what this is, that's just how it goes, right? So that's how it seems to be in that way. So let me clarify the levers on the right side for them. Taurus right, there's progress. Empress right, there's nourishment. Warriors is incompletion. Empress right, there's structure. High Priestess right, they're in a voice. Strength of yours is no bravery, so they're being scared. Stars right, there's inspiration. Taurus is no transformation. Magician is no skill. Wheel of Fortunes they want to have good luck. Fool warriors, there's change. Exactly, because they want to change. Sun carriers is negativity. Exactly. So while they are drawn into the negativity, that's how it goes in that way. It's like, alright, well, this is the way it works. This is the way of how it is. That's how it is. So whether you say it and you think that, I have negativity, that's what it is. Because how would you see it as a wonderful feeling? How you're going to adapt on what you're doing, right? It's like if you're being bullied, harassed, taken advantage of, whatever it is, and you're being the weakest link, you know, they think that, oh, you know, it's not my fault. But in considering the way of how it goes, what if you are focusing on a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and let's say you're being mean, disrespectful, you know the way how it works, why you keep doing it? Why would you keep adapting what you're doing in that way? It's like, it's almost like a never-ending story, right? You have to keep continuing on what you're doing in that way because that's how it goes. It's like, well, you know, this is how it goes. This is the way it works. Yes, but not necessarily, right? You think to yourself, it's like, well, you know, this is how it goes. I need to do this. I need to improve myself wisely to get a better outcome. Yes, it is, but how would you have your own ways of, you know, being disrespectful, right? It's like you have dishonesty, right? That's how it goes because you're not accepting, right? That's how it goes because that's what it's going to be, right? So that's what it works. So let me clarify this, lovers. Judgment Uranus is no action. Justice over you're telling the truth. Cancer Uranus is no healing. Death Uranus is no endings. Hammer Uranus is no restrictions. The Hermit is over their solitude. Yeah, because you're basically hiding, right? And that's what it is. It's like you're hiding because you want to tell the truth. You know what's going on, and that's how it goes. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio know what to do because on what is happening between both sides of the situation here. No matter how it goes, whether if you focusing like on them, they're focusing on other, you know, change and, you know, structure, they're scared, you know, that's how it goes because they have negativity. Because they don't want to lose Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But the way this is, that's how it goes. Because it's like, you know, you're saying to yourself, you know, it's not my fault, it's not my fault. Actually, it is. Because you're going to adapt with it. Right, and that's how it goes. So what's the middle of this situation? Knight of Cups over, there's romance. King of Pentacles over, there's prosperity about money. Two Wands over, there's planning. Wheel of Fortune, there's bad luck. Six Pentacles over, there's kindness. Exactly. So you have to be, you have to have kindness and respect. That's what it is. So whether you're dealing with an Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, that's what it is. You have to pay attention on how you're feeling. Because the way of this is, if you keep, you know, how it is, and it gets intense, that's what it is in that way, right? It's like, you know, you can't be fooled. You can't be, you know, outwitted and think, you know, this is how it goes. So whether you want to play games between Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you have to face the facts that if you decide that, oh, you know, I didn't mean to piss off a Scorpio, or I didn't mean to piss off a, you know, Pisces or Cancer, you know what you're going through, right? They think that, you know, they have the upper hand. You have the lower end. It's like, why would you keep doing it, you know? So if you keep saying about you're having, you know, the way how it works, and you're saying, oh, it's not my fault. Well, you know, you keep doing it, right? You keep doing it. You know, bullying and harassment are, you know, not good, right? They're not idle. They're not the way how it works. So whether if you say to yourself, it's like, you know, well, I don't like this feeling, then don't do it, right? So whether you keep doing this over and over and over, that's how it goes in that way, right? So it's like you can't be, you know, stupid, right? You know, I'm not saying it to all my viewers. No, I'm not. But the way this is, if you act like that, and you want to attract Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, whoever you are talking to, you want to have the upper hand. But if you keep harassing, bullying, you know, that's how it goes. Because you want them to back off, leave you alone, whatever it is. So if you keep doing this over and over and over, how would you keep doing it? Right? How would you be civilized? Right? That's the question. Like, you have to pay attention to it. So whether if you act like this and you think that, oh, you know, it's not my fault, that's basically a lie. You know, and that's how it goes. There's negativity right there. You're basically in the negative zone. You can't be positive, you can't be, that's how it goes. You have negativity. That's how it goes. So you pay attention to it. So let me go from the middle to them, middle to you. The 10 Pentacles here is there's no wealth. Yeah, there's no money. Moon is over, there's miscommunications. 5 Wands over, there's chaos. Just yours is not telling the truth. See, the cards don't lie. But in this card is the Justice reverse, there's lies. Right? That's how it goes. Because they are saying that they're lying. And that's how it goes. Right? And they want to be mean and rude and disrespectful. Between a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Whoever you're dealing with, another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. That's what happens. That's how it goes. 9 Pentacles is that right there? You're feeling comfortable. Magician's yours is no skill. 4 Wands yours is no celebration. 4 Cups yours is no distraction. 10 of Swords there's conclusions. 9 Wands there's fear. Yep, exactly. Death cards there's endings. So you're focusing on the Scorpio. Didn't I say that earlier? Yes. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the first sign that I'm talking about. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. That's you, by the way. So you think to yourself, like, well, this is not going to end well. No, it's not. So if you're focusing on the Scorpio, and you want him to pay attention to you, and you're acting all, disrespectful, that's how it goes. That's what it seems to be. Right? It's like you're not feeling any confidence. No, you're not. It's like you're saying, woe is me, I can't do anymore, I quit. Well, don't do that. Unnecessarily. Right? That's how it goes. Let's play the middle and Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. 6 Wands, there's no celebration. 6 Swords, there's no movement. 9 of Swords, there's trauma. 2 Wands, there's no planning. Judgment, there's no action. 6 Pentacles is that you want kindness. Yeah, see, you want kindness and respect. Yep. So let me clarify the 6 Pentacles. High Priestess is only the voice. 7 Wands, 7 Swords, you're feeling deceit. 2 Swords is upright. You don't know which path you're going to take, left or right. Empress there's structure. Fool is upright, there's change. Yeah, exactly. 8 Pentacles you want perfection. And the Strength card is upright, there's bravery. Yeah, exactly. 8 Pentacles you want to have like prosperity about money. Sun card is negativity. Exactly. See, both sides have negativity. Right? It's like you think to yourself, like, this is how it goes. How would I be doing this? Right? That's how it goes. You're not trying to let it go. But what this is, between negativity, right? That's how it goes. So it's like you're not playing games here. No, you're not. But that's how it goes. So let's say what the universe is saying. I'm going to go from the middle to them, middle to you. High Priestess reverse is only your voice. 8 Swords reverse is a misunderstanding. Exactly. The Moon reverse is no misrotations. 10 Swords reverse is no conclusions. 4 Wands over there's celebration. 5 Pentacles reverse is no insecurity. 9 Cups reverse is no fulfillment. Death card reverse is there's no endings. Exactly. King Wands over there's passion. Yeah, because you want leadership. 4 Cups reverse is no distraction. Star reverse is no inspiration. Tower reverse is no transformation. Queen Swords reverse, no independence. Exactly. Sun cards over there's positivity. Exactly. They are in between positive and negative. Right? They're acting like they don't need Scorpio, then they want Scorpio. Right? That's what it is. And that's how it needs to be. Because they want to stay positive. That's what they want. Let's put in the middle and Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio on the left side. 2 Wands right, there's planning. 6 Wands there's no achievement. Emperor yours there's no structure. 4 Swords is upright, there's recuperation. 10 yours there's no healing. Hangman is upright, there's restrictions. Exactly. So what's the hangman is? Page of Cups, there's no loyalty. Ace of Swords, there's anxiety. Hermit reverse, you already have a soulmate. Knight of Pentacles, sorry, you want trust. Seven of Swords, sorry, you're feeling deceit. Page 1 is over, there's invention. Five of Cups, sorry, there's grief. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio can be dual within a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Yeah. What's the middle of the situation? Queen wants yours, there's no charisma. Eight wants yours, there's no speed. Magician, yours, there's no skill. Queen of Cups over, there's empathy. Yeah, because there's two sides to the story here. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. But you decide. So whether you have this pressure point and you think that, this is how it goes, that's what it seems to be. So whether if you think to yourself like, well, this is not my fault. This is not the way it works. This is the way of how it goes. Yes, but necessarily, it's like if you keep doing this over and over and over, how would that be possible to make it possible? Nothing is impossible to make it possible. You decide. You decide about saying, there's a good saying, and I'll say it again, is that, if you can't say something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Don't. Because the way of this is, if you act like that, and there's always a two sides of a story here, one makes sense, one doesn't make sense, you decide. If you think that you want to pick on a disability person, let's say, if you keep doing that over and over and over and over and over, you might get a penalty. And I know what a penalty is, because in laws, it's like you can't bully, you can't harass, you can't do that. But if you keep doing that, because you want to get all the attention, you want to get, have loyalty, have, respect, have everything else, it doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. No. So if you keep harassing a person who has a disability, for example, leave them alone. And don't even come to their table. Even if you aren't friends with them and you go to their table and just yell, no. That's actually, disrespect. In a public place. It's actually disrespect in a public place, because you think to yourself, oh, you're not the only one. No, because there's a lot of witnesses, and you think that, yeah, so don't be acting like, oh, well, I don't want to do this anymore. Just leave Scorpio alone, right? You're like, you need to pay attention on what's going on. If you can't get your act straight, if you wanted to think that, oh, woe is me, people should pay attention on what they're doing. You have to pay attention on how you're feeling. Pay attention about how you're going to have respect, have your own say. Not like saying, well, I can't do this more. Then why will you keep doing it? Why? If you understand about the way of how I'm going to say it, is that if you go from 1 to 10, what's their outcome? 10, right? What's worse? 1. So you have to understand on how you're feeling between number 1 and number 10, right? If you're having an off day, if you think that, there's always these ways of how you're feeling, that's what it goes. But like I say, I'm just a reader. I'm just telling you what's going on. So if you had someone in your life, and let's say if you were friends with them, let's say for example, you have to pay attention on that. If you're having a friend with them, and let's say, you used to be friends and now you're not. But why would you keep going to their table all the time when you're not their friends? Like, it doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. you know, that's how it goes. That's what it's gonna be. Like, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention on how you're feeling, the way how it goes. That's how it goes, and you have to adapt. You know, that's what it's gonna be. So I hope you all like this video. Try to get a like and a comment if you want, but that's how it goes. And if you're seeing me a little bit kind of annoyed, you have to pay attention on what's going on, because, like I say, you have to pay attention. You have to have your own strengths and pay attention. Because if you are basically, annoyed with Scorpio or Pisces or Cancer or Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, you have to adapt on what you're doing in that way. You have to be efficient. You have to see what you're doing. You have to have your own way. That's how it goes. So you have to pay attention, okay? So I hope you all like this video. Try to get a like and a comment. Please comment if you want, if this happens to you. But that's what it seems to be. So this is how it goes. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I'll see you next one I do. And that's how it goes in that way. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye for now, Ray. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. And bye for now, Ray. Thank you. And bye.